The City of Love is about to turn into the City of Sports in 2024. That's right, folks. Exactly 2 years from now, Paris is going to be totally lit with historic Olympic fame. Sure, there's plenty of time till then, but let us tell you, the build-up to the greatest show on Earth has already begun. From tickets to dates to the venue, we've rounded up everything you need to know about the upcoming Olympic Games. First up, a little history lesson. Sure, the Games are great and make us question our life choices as we sit on the couch while someone half our age does a crazy vault routine. But we bet y'all never got into the history of it. Did you know that this is gonna be the first time in a century that France will be hosting the Olympics? Yeah, the last time the Games went down on French soil was way back in 1924. So you can imagine the excitement as the Games return to Europe. FYI, this will be France's third time hosting what's possibly the biggest multi-sport event ever. The Games were first held there in 1900. Sounds weird just saying it, but that was a year. Moving on, let's take a look at what you can expect to see in the Olympics this time around. It is the Olympics, so you can expect to see a whole lot of sports, 32 to be exact. And let us tell you, they're gonna make you wish you didn't spend all your time on Netflix. Some of the sports have been a part of the game since pretty much forever, like track, swimming, gymnastics, and fencing, among others. So you can definitely expect to see the OGs in Paris, but there'll be some newer, more hip sports in the competition. Now, before we go into the details of that, it's kind of important to know that you can't just get any sport you like into the biggest gaming event ever. Don't get us wrong, we totally pay to watch Olympic dog walking, but the executive board of the International Olympic Committee might not be so thrilled about it. After all, the board basically decides what makes it through and doesn't to the events with a vote. This happens about 4 to 6 years before the Games, which means all the sports making it to 2024's event have already been decided. Turns out Paris submitted 4 sports to be included in the upcoming event, including breaking, which is basically breakdancing, sport climbing, skateboarding, and surfing. The last 3 were also a part of Tokyo's program, and you'll be seeing them again this time around. Plus, breaking. Karate and baseball didn't make it through the board and have been cut from the program. We finally get to see an actual step-up competition, and sure, it might not have Channing Tatum busting some solid moves, but hey, we're still psyched to see how that'll go. And there'll be 2 gold medals to go around, so the competition's gonna be tight. We've got the sports, now let's check out the venues. If your bucket list happens to have both exploring Paris and experiencing the Olympics, then 2024 is the year you'll get a chance to tick them off. Most of the sporting venues are inside and around the French capital, so you'll have a chance to squeeze in some sightseeing and a crepe or two in between your venue run. First, there's the Porte de la Chapelle Arena. This is where badminton and rhythmic gymnastics will take place. It's all set to open in 2023. The thing about this multi-sports complex is that it's in Paris's 18th arrondissement. Now, this might not sound that exciting, but the place is centered around Hilltop Montmartre, was an artist's village before, and was home to Picasso and Dali. If you're hyped for breaking, BMX freestyle, and skateboarding, wait till you hear where it's set to take place. In the largest square in Paris, aka La Concorde, it'll be transformed into an open arena for the Olympics, and we can bet it'll be one heck of a sight. Next, we got Pont de l'Éna. Now, this should make it to your gram because it's located near the foot of the Eiffel Tower and happens to be one of the 37 bridges on the Seine. Paris sure is upping its hosting game. Then we've got beach volleyball, but without the beach. Instead, you'll see the Eiffel Tower in all its glory while athletes throw ball at its base park. France will turn the iconic park into a temporary outdoor arena for the sport. The next venue will definitely make the history nerd inside you jump with excitement. 2 words, Les Invalides. If you snoozed through history in school, we've got you covered. The venue is located across the Hôtel des Invalides, which, FYI, was built in 1687 and houses the tomb of the famous Napoleon Bonaparte. So you can take that in as you watch archery, athletics, and road cycling there. Moving on, we've got Parc des Princes as a venue. Now, this place needs no introduction if you're a football fan. It's the home of PSG. Of course, it's a bonus if you're actually a fan of the club as well. So what's the former largest studio in the country hosting? Football. Duh. Is it just us, or do the venues keep getting better? You'll also get a chance to see Château de Versailles. They're opening up the former royal residence, or its grounds, at least, for the 2024 Olympics. From what we know so far, the grounds will be converted to host equestrian and modern pentathlon. Now, these aren't all the venues set for the Games. That's actually a pretty extensive list. But judging by the ones we just went over, the upcoming sporting event will be an experience like no other. Of course, not all the sports are going to take place in the capital. There are actually 28 other venues around the rest of France, which include Stade Pierre-Mauroy for handball, Marseille Marina for sailing, and Chopu for surfing. Now that we've got that covered, let's move on to the grand opening ceremony. Let's tell you straight off the bat that the upcoming opening ceremony will be nothing like you've seen before. Why? Well, it's supposed to be the most accessible ceremony in Olympic history. It's going to be 6 kilometers long by a procession along the beautiful River Seine. And that's what makes the whole thing accessible, because before this, a stadium procession was sort of a tradition. Paris 2024 is breaking new ground in sports competition by bringing sports out into the city, and the same will be true for the opening ceremony. The official Twitter account of Paris 2024 even shared an image of what the opening ceremony will look like. So there will be a separate boat for every national delegation on the Seine, and it'll run between Pont d'Austerlitz and end in front of the Trocadero. They're saying around 600,000 spectators are expected to attend the ceremony, and we don't doubt it. You can actually pay for seats on the lower banks of the river, and even for some in the bridges too. If you don't want to pay, that's fine too. You'd still be able to see it all from the upper banks of the river that'll be open to the public free of cost. There'll also be some 80 giant screens along the route. Next up, what's the schedule for the Paris 2024 Games? The competition is all set to kick off on July 24th with football and handball. That'll be 2 days before the opening ceremony. After that, there will be a total of 19 days of competition. We'll see the award ceremony for the first medals on July 27th. There will also be 8 finals taking place that day in cycling, with women's and men's time trials, judo, fencing, diving, rugby, shooting, swimming, and skateboarding. The last gold of the season will be awarded on August 11th, which will be for women's basketball. So how do you get the tickets? There will be about 10 million tickets on sale for the 2024 Games, but getting a trip to the Olympics isn't quite as simple. There are actually 3 main phases of sales to the general public. According to the official Paris 2024 website, it'll look something like this. February 2023 will see the launch of package sales. Then a couple months later, in May, single ticket sales will be launched. And by late 2023, the tickets will be available for people to buy in real time. The site also mentioned that resale tickets would be available regularly during that period. Now, to get your hands on these tickets, you'll have to register for a draw later this year. That's what makes you eligible. The Olympics Committee goes through this honestly painful process to make sure every fan gets an equal opportunity of getting a ticket. What happens if you actually make it through the draw? You're given a window to buy tickets. There's one official online platform for that, and prices start at €24 for all Olympic sports, and nearly half the tickets will cost €50 or less. And that about wraps up our video for today, folks. Are you planning on heading down to Paris for the Olympics? Let us know in the comments section down below. Be sure to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.